Every brother always does that.
Corey asked me a question that I think is, maybe I should cover a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
Corey asked me about whether the house that burned was it the first house? Was it my childhood home? And houses I have had, I think it's 5 that I could say were in my childhood. There was one when Dad was working for, I think it was Armentrout's, who was a big farmer in the Warrensburg-Latham area. He had a house that Dad was granted the use of just outside Latham. If those of you who don't know Illinois, Latham doesn't mean anything to you. It's a little town you never heard of, and there's a song by one of the local people who...
Corn crab, yeah. Leave it to David to say that.
After that, Dad decided he wanted to farm on his own rather than be a hired hand, so he found a farm south of Harristown where he could... It was in 2 parcels. One parcel he could farm. There was another farmer who had been a longer, the longer-term guy had the big house. We had the little house. As I remember, though, there were more of us than in the other house, but that's. The guy in the big house left, and we moved all across the road to the bigger house. Now the name of the family, I think this is his, is Gouge. And, you know, we lived there a few years in both of the houses, and suddenly we were moving because Dad had not come to an agreement on the rent. So the Gouge sisters said, no, we're not going to rent it to you for that price. He said, I'm not going to pay you a price. He found a farm near Cerro Gordo, where we were. No, I think that I should mention Gwen was born in one of the Gouge houses. I'm not sure which.
I'm not sure. And Fred probably too.
Fred would have been born there too. Joyce and Rick, they were born
somewhere else. Yeah.
They were born while Dad was in the Army, so I don't remember exactly where they were. But they did pretty much grow up at Grandpa's, is my recollection. So, Cerro Gordo was probably one of the more eventful of the houses because that's where we lost Cynthia. It was also where we got John. And a lesser honor was we got David.
David, yeah.
That was the
And since there was the tragedy, and Dad was asked to become a hired hand again rather than rent, and he didn't want to do that. The ground that you guys remember us living on came up for sale for it was in family ground, but distant relative. So we moved from Cerro Gordo to Warrensburg, where most of us grew up. Several of us were born.
best of all.
The last 4 were born there, isn't that right? Or 3? 3, that's 3.
Best 3.
Yeah, Brian Jedden. Brian Jedden.
But they stopped with Dan because, yes, how do you
top that?
Top that.
There's not much left to look at.
Another thing is they also realized just how bad it could get.
We got to put it down.
And for those of you who don't know, that house was where, well, that house would burn in 1973, right?
Because right before Micah was here.
Huh?
Yes, November 73.
November 3rd, I think.
And after that, we were town folks
Yeah.
for a while.
Renting in town.
And then we lived in the house we built to replace that until after.
Till dad sold.
Did
You
that
were
after the-
you were my neighbors
but-
at that time.
Huh?
They're on the street.
Yeah, I got to live. I don't know if I call that a home house.
Shelter, yeah. Yes, that's what I remember.
Yeah, the fun house was my dorm at Milliken. Well, I don't know if it was a dorm, but it was a fun house. With all of what you can imagine it goes on.
Surely not wrong.
Not me.
We saw Animal House.
It was,
It was John's
so,
fault.
I think that one of the things that really hurt me when Rick passed was I suddenly realized that he was the only one who knew memories of those residences, probably better than I did. And he also remembered the times that went through there.
Was he born in Pana?
Was he born in Pana?
One of
Didn't
them,
Dad farm down there?
yeah.
He did,
The Jones farm.
the Jones farm, but I don't think that he was born there.
Later, when he was
I think that Rick and Joyce were both around when they went to,
Lived there.
because Dad would have been in the Army when John was born, not John.
When Rick,
When Rick was born.
Joyce was born in Texas, wasn't she?
yeah, I think so.
I think so, and I think Rick might have been too. Yeah, they came back up,
Dad was at,
Bryan Field. No,
now like,
something like
San
that.
Antonio, outside of San Antonio.
Yeah.
So he's Lackland now. No.
I think the field that he was at has been converted into a campus for,
They do actually Air Force Media down there, I can't remember the name of it.
but
Army Air Corps, not the Air Force.
Yeah.
I do,
Lackland Air Base.
I remember when Judy was still in high school and a cheerleader. Surely I don't remember when she was, if she in high school. I don't think I was born yet. I guess if somebody wants to ask her any questions,
Oh, Dad was 36.
have I bored you enough?
No, keep going.
Can you write this all down? Can you write this all down?
Oh, yeah.
We're recording it, never mind.
Bobby's recording.
I think it is kind of important maybe to mention that our heritage in Illini Township is the heritage of the Browns and the Gilmans, obviously, because that's where our roots are. But, and they all began, their roots were in New England, which, I don't know, there were some Browns involved in the Civil War on the Union side, but I don't know about the Gilmans.
Jesus, Ron, how old are you?
I'm 181.
Are you gonna tell us about the Civil War?
There was a bunch of shooting and I got shot.